Oh yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm not the best with words, but I like to play, and yeah, I'm just not the best with words. I like to let the music speak for itself for the most part. For jazz music, it was, like I said, when I played with those jazz musicians and they were just playing on the spot, it was really magical how they just like, I didn't understand how they could just improvise and make things up like right on the spot, and how they got through chord changes in really cool ways, and it's just a different energy than other musics. When you listen to jazz music, you kind of feel like a very special moment. At least that's how I felt when I first did this competition. It was an amazing ensemble. They could really make things happen just out of nothing. Hello, my name's Tyler Luppi. I'm from Woodstock, Connecticut, and I play jazz bass. I really wanted to start playing upright bass because that was what all the jazz guys were playing. But the thing was, I'm left-handed, so it was really hard for me to find an upright bass at first. So my dad, he started looking online where there was lefty upright basses, because I was left-handed playing electric left-handed. And then eventually he found this place called Upton Bass, and they make left-handed basses. So we got one made there. I took like a bunch of money that I'd been saving up for a long time and got myself an upright bass. And ever since then, I've just been really focused and wanting to play upright bass like my whole life. So when I was studying, I'd always just been studying and just like going, and never taking kind of a break. You kind of would study, you'd study, and especially when you're younger, you just want to learn everything and you want to show off and want to show everybody everything that you can do. And the problem with that is you kind of don't you don't self-reflect enough when you're doing it that way. When you're just absorbing, you don't really hear yourself. You're kind of just see these notes and you just play. So something that I learned when I was there was I recorded myself a bunch there. And when I recorded myself, I realized that I wasn't playing how I was imagining it. And I was listening to it back and I was like, wow, I should just stop. Like, I came all the way here to study this music and it's just like, it doesn't even sound good. It's just I'm making sounds and there's no meaning behind it. I'm just trying to show off, or I'm trying to be something that I'm not. And when you play this music, it's really an exposing music, jazz music, because if you can't play, then people know. It's one of the most exposed musics, I think, is you really have to know who you are, and you really have to be able to communicate that to people, because if you don't, then it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't groove. It doesn't make sense. It kind of just sounds like noise. When you play, you actually want a good tip that a lot of jazz musicians told me, this was something that also got me out of myself, was don't play like, you're the man and like you're showing off and that you're playing and everybody's watching you. Don't be that guy it's not about the ego, is basically what it's trying to say. It's more about pretend that you're somebody in the audience. Pretend that you're actually yourself in the audience and you're listening to that person that's playing and that person's you. Okay. I wrote this one for you guys. It's called Steps. Like, I try to go back to my roots of like what really got me into music in the first place. So I'll listen to like The Doors or some like really old classic rock, Beatles, Doors, that type of stuff. And then I'll say, okay, well, what got me into jazz music? Why did I really study this music? And then I start listening to Clifford Brown again. And you see the intent and the drive that these people have. And when you feel that drive from them, it makes you want to do it again too. It makes you want to contribute, makes you want to be part of everything else. I want everyone to have that feeling of there's nothing holding them back. I want everyone to have that feeling that you can do whatever you want to do, and it doesn't matter to me if there's one person in the audience or 100 in the audience or thousands. If I can just connect to that one person and they really feel something and they really feel motivated or they really feel just anything, if I can give them an emotion. I've always been more of a giving person than caring about myself, which is probably bad for jazz musicians sometimes because jazz musicians are very independent and they're like, oh, I gotta be the best, I gotta take care of myself. And I've adapted somewhat to that, but in the end, I still want to give that energy back to everybody else. You know, it's funny, like, there's a lot of people that like these types of rituals and everything, but that's something else about this music and about being a musician in general is I don't think you turn it off. It's kind of, you always have to be ready. There could be at any moment someone's going to be like, oh, I want to hear you right now. So you're almost always on. And it's kind of scary because you're like, oh, what if I don't sound good today or if I don't sound good tomorrow? But you can't be thinking about that type of stuff. You got to be living in the moment always and just always be present. Don't think about who you were, who you are, or think about where you're going. Just be there, be part of it. Yeah, something like that.